There's a little voice inside all of us, a gentle whisper that stirs when we're still, nudging us to look beyond the horizon we know. It's the voice that speaks of faraway places and adventures waiting just out of sight, calling us to step outside our comfort zones and into the unknown. For me, that voice always spoke of the sea, a coastline I'd never walked, salty air I'd never breathed, and the promise of something new just beyond the waves. Travel, I believe, is about letting a place change you, about answering the quiet call of the horizon and allowing yourself to be transformed by the journey. My dream was simple: to find a place where the world felt vast and my worries felt small, where I could lose myself in the endlessness of sky and sea. I imagined standing on a shore, the only sounds the cries of gulls and the rhythm of waves, feeling the pulse of nature in every breath. This dream led me somewhere unexpected. Germany, a country I'd never associated with the sea, but one that quietly promised its own kind of magic. We think of Germany's cities and forests, its castles and bustling streets, but rarely do we picture its windswept coasts and tranquil beaches. Yet I'd heard tales of its northern shores, of the wild, untamed North Sea, and the gentle, inviting Baltic, each with its own story to tell. I wasn't chasing landmarks or famous sights. I wanted to slow down, to find moments of pure, simple joy, to let the world's beauty wash over me. I longed to feel the sand between my toes, to leave footprints that would soon be washed away, a reminder of how fleeting and precious each moment is. The wind in my hair, wild and free, reminded me that sometimes the best journeys are the ones that sweep us off our feet. And as the sun painted the sky in colors I'd never seen before, I felt a sense of awe that words could barely capture. This was more than a trip, it was a pilgrimage to reconnect with nature and with myself, to find peace in the quiet moments and clarity in the open air. With hope in my heart and a map that felt like a treasure chart, I set off, eager to see what secrets the coastline might reveal. I was ready to leave the familiar behind, to embrace whatever came my way, and to trust that the journey itself would be the greatest reward. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with discovery, wonder, and the promise of stories yet to be written. The adventure was about to begin, and I was ready to let the sea show me who I could become. The journey north unfolded gently, rolling hills giving way to open flatland. Each mile brought a subtle transformation, as if the landscape itself was preparing me for something entirely new. The fields stretched wider, the trees grew sparser, and the sky seemed to open up, hinting at the vastness that lay ahead. The air grew crisper, tinged with salt and damp earth. There was a freshness here, a wildness that felt both invigorating and unfamiliar, as if the wind carried stories from distant shores. My heart beat faster with anticipation. Every step closer to the coast felt like a step into a new world, one shaped by tides and wind rather than roads and cities. My first stop, a small town on the North Sea coast. Its harbor was lined with colorful fishing boats and weathered houses, each one telling tales of life lived in rhythm with the sea. Stepping out, a playful gust of wind greeted me, as if the sea itself was saying hello. The wind tugged at my hair and jacket, carrying the scent of salt and adventure. Before me stretched the Wadden Sea, vast tidal flats shimmering under the pale sun. The landscape was ever-changing, shaped by the ebb and flow of the tides, revealing hidden patterns in the mud and water. It wasn't the crashing blue ocean I'd imagined, but something more mysterious. The flats seemed to hold secrets beneath their surface, whispering of ancient rhythms and quiet resilience. The sky felt enormous, meeting the earth in a seamless line. Here the horizon stretched endlessly, blurring the boundary between land and sea, between reality and dream. I felt wonderfully small, humbled by the scale and beauty. The vastness made my worries seem insignificant, replaced by a sense of awe and gratitude. Breathing in the clean air, I felt stress wash away. Each breath filled me with calm, as if the landscape itself was offering a quiet reassurance. This was the peace I'd been searching for. The gentle sounds of distant birds and the soft lapping of water created a soothing symphony, inviting me to slow down and simply be present. I walked along the dike, sheep grazing below, the distant shape of an island on the horizon. The path felt timeless, worn smooth by generations who had come before me, each drawn by the same quiet magic. The world here was quiet, stripped to earth, sky and water. It was a place where nature's elements reigned and human presence felt gentle, almost reverent. It demanded patience and observation, whispering its secrets to those willing to listen. Every ripple in the mud, every call of a distant bird was a reminder to slow down and pay attention. I stood, listening, ready to let the landscape speak. In that moment, I felt connected to something larger than myself. A world shaped by wind, water, and time. The North Sea had welcomed me, inviting me to discover its quiet wonders and to lose myself in its endless horizons. From the mainland, I took a ferry to Sylt, the queen of the North Sea. The island's wild dunes and swaying grasses felt like the edge of the world. My first walk was along the western beach, endless white sand and powerful waves. The wind was relentless, invigorating, filling my ears with its roaring song. I walked for hours, boots sinking into soft sand, sea spray on my cheeks. At the Roats Cliff, the red cliffs glowed in the afternoon sun, a moment of perfect tranquility. Sylt's villages with their thatched roof Frisian houses seemed to grow from the land itself. Wandering quiet streets, I admired sturdy homes built for the coastal weather. Life here moved at a slower, more deliberate pace, shaped by the seasons and tides. Sylt was wild, beautiful, and unforgettable. Next I arrived at St. Peter-Ording, a beach like no other. The sand stretched endlessly, the sea sometimes seeming miles away. The vastness made people look like tiny ants, reminding me of the planet's immensity. Stilt houses, Fallbauten, stood tall above the sand, like guardians of the shore. Walking out to one for tea felt like a small adventure with panoramic views of sand, sea, and sky. The beach was alive with kites and sand yachting, the wind a constant companion. I watched colorful kites dance, mesmerized by their freedom. Flying a kite myself, I felt a childlike delight. As evening fell, the wet sand mirrored a spectacular sunset, orange, pink, and purple. I walked the water's edge, filled with peace and gratitude. In that moment I felt completely connected to the world. It was a memory to cherish forever. St. Peter-Ording was a celebration of the elements. The sky truly kissed the sea here. Leaving the wild North Sea, I traveled east to the Baltic, the Ostsee. The change was striking. Softer air, gentler wind, calmer sea. Sheltered bays and lush forests replaced dramatic open spaces. Historic seaside resorts like Kulungsborn and Heiligendamm offered old-world charm. I strolled promenades, admired white villas, and felt transported to a more elegant era. The beaches were intimate, dotted with iconic blue and white strandkorb, wicker beach chairs. I spent hours curled up in one, reading and listening to the gentle sea. The Baltic's water was less salty, often warmer, perfect for a peaceful swim. Floating on my back, sun on my face, I felt pure contentment. The Baltic whispers, inviting you to slow down and simply be. My final coastal stop was Rügen, Germany's largest island. Jasmine National Park's chalk cliffs rose dramatically from turquoise sea, their white faces shining in the sun. The Königstuhl, or King's Chair, offered awe-inspiring views. But the real magic was walking the clifftop path through ancient beech forests, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The interplay of white cliffs, green forest, and blue sea was enchanting. I spent a day exploring, the only sounds the rustling leaves and distant sea. Rügen's seaside towns like Binz and Sellen boasted elegant piers and resort architecture. A ride on the Rosender Roland steam train was a nostalgic journey through the countryside. Rügen was a place of unforgettable beauty and profound peace. It was the perfect end to my coastal journey. Here, nature's grandeur and tranquility met. A journey is also about tastes and people. I savored fischbraten, fresh fish rolls by the harbor, and hearty labskaus in a cozy Baltic restaurant. Meals became connections to local culture and history. I met a lighthouse keeper on Sylt, a family in St. Peter-Ording who shared their picnic, and many others. Their warmth and stories turned my trip into a tapestry of memories. Food nourished my body, but friendships nourished my soul. These moments are what truly last. Before this journey, I felt a little lost, worn down by modern life. The constant noise, the endless rush, and the weight of expectations had left me feeling disconnected from myself and the world around me. I longed for a sense of peace, for a place where I could simply breathe and be. But on those German coasts, something shifted. The first light of dawn, the gentle hush of the waves, and the endless horizon seemed to invite me to let go of my worries, to surrender to the present moment. The sea's vastness put my worries in perspective. Standing at the water's edge, I realized how small my troubles were compared to the endless expanse before me. The ocean's rhythm became a gentle reminder that life is bigger than any single moment of stress. Watching the tides reminded me that life is always moving, always changing. The ebb and flow of the water mirrored my own emotions, teaching me to accept change and trust in the natural cycles of life. The air, what Germans call Reisklima, felt healing, clearing my mind and lifting my spirits. Each breath filled me with a sense of renewal, as if the salty wind itself was washing away the heaviness I'd carried for so long. Walking the beaches, feeling the elements, was therapy. The sand beneath my feet, the cool water lapping at my ankles, and the wild grasses swaying in the breeze grounded me in the here and now. I found a deep, inner quiet, an absence of noise replaced by calm. The gentle sounds of the sea and the soft light of morning created a space where I could finally hear my own thoughts and reconnect with my heart. Sitting in a strandkorb, I let the world slow down. Time seemed to stretch, and I allowed myself to simply exist, to savor the simple pleasures of sun, wind, and sea. I was present, absorbed in the beauty of the moment. The textures, the colors, the sense of the coast all became more vivid, reminding me how much I'd been missing in my daily life. This journey taught me to reconnect with nature, to remember I'm part of something bigger. The land, the sea, and the sky all seemed to welcome me back, offering a sense of belonging I hadn't felt in years. The wildness of the sea, the greenness of the forest, the vastness of the sky, these are what our souls need. They remind us of our own wildness, our own capacity for renewal and growth. The German coast gave me back wonder and joy. I laughed more, moved more freely, and felt a lightness I hadn't known in a long time. I felt happier, healthier, and more alive than I had in years. The energy of the sea seemed to infuse every part of me, awakening a sense of possibility and hope. It was a beautiful reminder of what truly matters, to slow down, to reconnect, and to let the healing power of nature restore our spirits. My journey along Germany's northern shores was more than a holiday. It was a revelation. It showed me that adventure and beauty can be found in unexpected places. The wild North Sea and gentle Baltic healed and inspired me. But words and pictures can only do so much. You must experience the salt spray, the sound of waves, the taste of fresh fischbraten for yourself. Go and write your own coastal story. Discover Sylt's drama, St. Peter Ording's endless sands, Rügen's fairy tale cliffs. Walk the ancient forests, meet the locals, let the sea work its magic. Your own life-changing journey is waiting, where the sky kisses the sea. The adventure is calling. Answer it. Thank you for letting me share my story.